in it. Like the way that it's fitting my head is like very flush. On this, I don't have a ton of thin yarn, so I have very limited choices. I started following a tutorial.
Today is Wednesday, so that means that today is actually the first day of school for me. So I'm getting ready for that. So I had therapy yesterday, and it was actually one of the best sessions that I've had in such a long time. I mean, don't get me wrong, I cried, of course, like always, but overall, what we talked about, what I went through during the session and everything like that, beautiful, beautiful. I realized how much I've progressed within my own, with working on my ADHD and everything like that, and getting that acknowledgement, really felt nice. I don't want to call it validation because I don't feel like I need validation, but I also don't really realize when I'm doing good things until my therapist congratulates me, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I could just be living life and then she'll be like, wow, that's such a good step, you did this and this and this, and I'm like, oh my god, you're right, I did do it like that and like that. That was just happening a lot during the session. It made me feel really good about myself because I've actually haven't been feeling that good about myself, and it was just a little reminder that no matter how many rough days you have, like, you are still moving forward. And that was definitely something that I needed right now, especially because school's about to start. Anyways, so I did actually talk to my therapist about having a little crush on someone, and the reason why I brought it up to her is because I have been like really reflecting on just what in my life is ADHD and what in my life is normal. And I asked her, I was like, how will I be able to know if what I'm feeling is hyperfixation or if it's actually me having feelings? And one of the reasons why I was kind of afraid to ask her that question is because I was worried that she was going to tell me that it was hyperfixation and that my feelings don't exist, and I've been just obsessing this entire time. I'm not gonna lie, that's where my brain was spiraling. But she did tell me that she basically did tell me that it was hyperfixation, but in a good way. So what she said was, everything is ADHD because I have ADHD. My brain is an ADHD brain, so everything I deal with is ADHD. And a crush is technically a hyperfixation. Neurotypicals also experience hyperfixation when it comes to feelings and everything like that. But the point is to, or the point of relationships is to evolve that hyperfixation to real feelings. And I told her that while I was dealing with these emotions and everything like that, I've been self-monitoring myself, which is one of the 8 executive functions that we have and that ADHD people struggle with. But I've been able to self-monitor my emotions and really make sure that I am just focusing on the person and not hyperfixate on something that's not real, if that makes sense. I don't want to go into too many details because it is kind of embarrassing. But it was a relief that, I guess, I don't know how to put it. It's a relief that even though she did say it is hyperfixation, it's okay. It's okay that it's hyperfixation because it's something that I have to live with. I have ADHD. That is just how I'm going to live. But again, like I mentioned earlier, the point of feelings with other people is to develop those people's past the hyperfixation. So that could even go with meeting new friends. You're hyperfixated on this new person because they're new and you want to learn everything about them, and eventually you want to evolve those feelings into platonic friendship feelings. The way she explained it last night made more sense to me, so I hope I'm explaining things right. But again, that just made me feel a lot better because I was worried that I was going through things that shouldn't be going through, I guess. When I mentioned that I was looking back past all my old crushes and everything, starting from from like high school and stuff. And I realized that half of those were hyperfixations towards people that were just nice to me in a sense. And because I wasn't self-monitoring or self-aware, I don't know, and just things didn't work out. And whether things work out with this crush or not, that's besides the point. The main thing that is going on right now is that, for lack of better words, I am in a good position to say that I am ready to, like, I guess, date and not be completely heartbroken if things don't turn out the way I want it to be, because I'm so, again, for lack of better words, emotionally stable. And I'm also very proud of myself because I did kind of go through a moment where I started hating my ADHD again. I was blaming it for something that just happened between me and someone and going down a small hate spiral and everything like that. But the fact that I guess in this part I've been really good with it, it made me see it in a different perspective. So I am climbing back out of that emotional spiral and really accepting my demons, but they're not demons. I'm just accepting this big part of myself that is hard to understand even from me. I am so lazy. It's 12 o'clock. I don't have class until 4:30, but I told my sister that I'll come visit her between class, but I regret picking the 4:30 class. So, guess who missed her first day of school? I did. Yes, I did film a whole getting ready montage section and everything for this vlog, and I went to school. I was sitting in my classroom. It was empty. It was literally 2 more minutes till 4:30, and I was like, why is no one here yet? There can't be that much. I mean, there was that much traffic, but not even the professor is here and no email. I read my schedule wrong, and my class was the day before. So that means that I go to class on Tuesdays, not Wednesdays. Whatever, it's okay. I already emailed her apologizing. I mean, it's the first day of class. According to a professor that I admire who's in my thesis committee, he was like, you know, it's the first day of class, you're good. He was in his office on yesterday, so I just took advantage to talk to him about some questions that I had for my PhD application, and I brought it up, and he was like, no, yeah, you're fine. So hopefully that's the case. The only reason why I'm a little worried is because it is just once a week, so I'm worried that I might have missed something, like it wasn't just introductions or anything like that, but it should be fine, hopefully. I have actually been working all morning on my statement of purpose, because that was actually one of the questions that I had for my professor, because he is the American literature professor. He's one of the American literature professors, and I really didn't know how to go about approaching this statement of purpose. They really want to focus, or they really want you to focus on your work as opposed to like your backstory and why you should be accepted into the program and everything like that. So I'm really hoping I have this done right. He said that all I need to turn in is one paragraph, but I literally have more in my head that I think I could finish the letter as a draft and send it to him to see if it's like pretty okay or something. I think I might also turn it into another thesis committee member, because he used to be in the application committee, so he could give me some more pointers and everything like that if I were to need them. I think it's really funny because I do mention how I briefly summarize one of my favorite essays that I wrote in my undergrad. I personally think it's one of my best work. I wrote it in my senior semester, my last semester of my undergrad, and my professor really liked it, and I also used it as my writing sample for both my senior portfolio and my master's degree application. So I think it's okay to mention it, because again, like, I think it's a pretty good work, and it really represents my interest in it. I don't know if I should be embarrassed, or I don't know if I should have the sentence that says I'm proud of this work. But we'll see. Those are like that's the commentary that I'm looking for as the draft of this statement of purpose. As a quick reading update, I am still reading Girls Against God. It's a slow read, I'm not gonna lie, and I am pushing through it. I don't want to DNF it, or like, I guess if I would have, I forgot what I was saying, but yes, I am trucking through Girls Against God, and it's interesting, but I'm determined to finish it. Why is it that you could excuse your professors having bad grammar in their emails or like typos and everything like that, but when you do it, it's like the end of the world? Oh my gosh, I put the wrong "your" in an email and I am so mad at myself. Oh my god, it's fine. It's okay. I'll live through it, but it's still a little bit embarrassing. Oh my god. I've been defeated. I've been defeated by a book. I know I told myself that with this reading challenge, I was gonna try to not read DNF these books and actually give them a try. And I tried. Oh my god, did I try. I gave up on Girls Against God. The writing was good. Just what it was being written was just a bunch of pretentious nonsense, in my opinion. All of this is my opinion, obviously. I had one good horror chapter, and then once I finally hit the halfway mark, once I finally hit 15 pages, I think 18 pages, there was a point where I'm like, so is this just feminist ranting about God and the patriarchy? Like, where's the rest of this horror? And so I skimmed through, and it's literally the last half of the book. And it's not even like horror, like it just, the road going to get there was just not worth it for me right now. I'm still keeping the book because I do like it. And who knows? Maybe I'll try to pick it up again one day. I don't want to fully give up on this book, but for now, just for now, just for January, I have to put it down just for right now. I have to put it down. I cannot continue reading this and not hate myself for still reading this. Putting this book down now is definitely an act of self-care. I don't know. It's almost 9 o'clock and I spent the last hour just playing Diablo on my iPad because I needed something to take my brain out of what I just read, I guess. I don't even know. I just needed to be away from that novel as far as possible. And obviously Diablo was the choice for me. I used to play Immortal when I had my 2018 iPad, and when I bought this one was definitely one of the first games I was gonna download. So there's that. Oh my god. I don't even know which book I want to try next because the Book of Form and Emptiness also left me frustrated for another reason. And Women Eating was just as slow in a sense for me. So it's like, which of the lesser evils, basically? That's where I'm left with. Which of the lesser evils? That is a future Laura decision that you will see maybe in the next clip, but definitely not for me right now. Right now, I think I'm just gonna finish watching some YouTube videos and call it a night. Tomorrow I'm going over to babysit my baby girl, and I do have a lot of reading for my class to catch up on, especially since I technically didn't go to my first day. Overall, it was a nice productive day. If I believed in burning books, I might burn this one, and yet I do still want to give it a third try. Whatever. Okay, good night. Hello. Hi. Today is Saturday, and as you guys can see, I actually spent the night at my sister's apartment this week. Yesterday was a really long day. It's one of those days. And I couldn't come and walk my baby girl until late in the afternoon, which broke my heart. The whole point of me coming here is to help make sure that she has her regular walking schedule, but shit happened and I made it here as fast as I could. And by the time it was 8 o'clock, I was just so comfortable in the pajamas that I borrowed from my sisters, and I was so tired. We had ordered pizza, we just finished watching a movie, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna call it a night. We're gonna watch another movie and I'm gonna stay here. I do miss my cat. I wish he was here with me, but it's okay. I'm gonna see him later today. So I have a lot of reading to do for Tuesday, my first day of class, since, you know, I missed last week. I missed this week's, I mean. Luckily, it's just a bunch of articles, so I didn't need to print or buy anything. And because I finally bought my iPad, you know, I'll just be reading it here. As for my January reading challenge, in my last clips, I remember just feeling really defeated and mentally exhausted trying to get through Girls Against God. Later that night, I decided to read a little bit of Mary Oliver's Devotions, and that definitely helped me get out of what might have potentially been a really bad reading slump. I only made it past the first part, so I didn't get fully into it, and I think that's what I'm gonna be doing, just getting into a little bit poetry here and there in between like my readings and everything like that. But anyways, I kind of noticed that I was reading books for this January challenge that had similar themes of like the unhinged woman, and which I've mentioned many times before that that's actually like my favorite kind of books. Like I felt like I wanted diversity, and I was about to pick up Ruth Ozeki's The Book of Form and Emptiness for my next challenge, but thank God for the poems, because I don't think I'm ready to read that one just yet, just because thinking about it brings me back to that angry place. So I decided to pick up Woman Reading this time. Today's the 13th, so I'm hoping that I can finish this, I guess, pretty soon, so that I can have a good balance between reading my schoolwork and a novel before we get into, I think we're gonna read Uncle Tom's Cabin, and that's one of the books that I have purposely avoided reading because of the subject matter. And I 100% understand that it's one of the most important books that I need to read if I'm specializing in American literature, and I get it. Me and my professor talked about it when I went to see him in his office. It's just, that subject matter just hurts. So in case I don't finish reading Women Eating before we get to Tom's Cabin, I think it'll be nice to have just like a good balance in between. Okay, so my issue with Woman Eating and the reason why I DNF'd it was because I thought it was a very slow book to read. When I found out that it was a vampire book, I was expecting, to be honest, I don't know what I was expecting, but I just wasn't expecting this slow burn. Reading the back a little bit better, maybe my expectations would have been different if I actually would have read this. One of the blurbs here says, it is a profound meditation on alienation and appetite and what it means to be a young woman who experiences life at an acute level of intensity and awareness. Claire Coda's prose is biting yet lush and gorgeous, and I was uncomfortably smitten. Honestly, if I would have read that, I think my expectations of it being a slow book would have... Anyways, long story short, I'm taking up Woman Eating for my next reading challenge, so that means Ruth Ozeki will be the last book that I'll be reading, and then I could start fun reading for the rest of the month.